この大空に翼を広げて。
Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out if my heart had wings on PC. Now this game did just release on Nintendo Switch. I believe it's available on the PlayStation Network as well. The PC version is not the family-friendly version. It's not the all ages version. So unfortunately, I won't be able to complete a full workout or a full Let's Play with you. There will be a point where it will be a bit too hot for YouTube. In that case, then you can meet me over at Pornhub to watch the rest of the visual novel if you find yourself interested in it. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the options here. I've set it to full screen. I'm going to leave the letterbox option on. That way, we still get the full view of of all the artwork and scenes, but there will be some black bars along the top and bottom. You have the option of doing full size, which fits the whole screen. Side cut, which is sort of, well, it says right there, it says enlarges while maintaining aspect matching the display height of that screen. Part of the horizontal portion will not be displayed on screen. And you have no correction, which will always leave the image as the same ratio as it was originally in the game. This other stuff is all defaults, so I think that'll be fine. There's some gesture quick commands, which I probably won't be using. I'll probably be doing in the background. So yeah, let's check it out. The bicycle race is known as a really harsh sport. Oh, actually, here, let's go to text speed. Let's make that instant. That's good. The hill climb in the middle is hell too. While putting strain on every muscle in your body, you have to continue pedaling without any brakes to climb a steep hill. At that time, I always think, I can't do this anymore. I'll make this race my last. Even though I think that every time, in the end, I still take part in the next race. I've endured severe training so that I don't put my feet down halfway through the hill climb. Why do I do that? Because once I finish the hill climb, I'm waiting for my reward. Nothing compares to the feeling of cutting through the wind as I race down the downhill section at a blistering speed. At that moment, I feel an incredible rush. Then I realize that I have forgotten about everything. The pain of the hill climb, the strain on every muscle in my body, and the days of hard practice. It's not a matter of whether I win or lose the race. I just enjoy it, and that's why I continue to ride. That's how it should have been. I still didn't have much life experience at that time, and it was something beyond my imagination. Suddenly, without warning, something was taken from me. I could also say shut away or lost. However, to directly express the emotion I felt at that time, taken is the word that fits best. So, there was one thing that I learned. Life isn't all about having fun. I gained a lesson in life. The thing I lost was everything. I let myself get depressed about. I let myself get depressed about this, but I should have thought about it a little more. If something could be taken from me so abruptly, then something could be given to me just as suddenly. The wind blew. A gentle but strong wind. It would not be unreasonable to call it an encounter. What this could be the start of. Even now, there's still no way for me to know. The windmill is turning. People are overwhelmed just because of the size of such enormous things. The unnatural silhouette serves a function, but to those who don't know what it is, it would appear to be something very bizarre. That's kind of loud, huh? I think that's better. Yeah, let's do that. This unnatural silhouette serves as a... Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh. With so many lined up like this, it could be said to be even more overwhelming. But why is that? The sight of the white windmills lined up on the green hills somehow seems so picturesque. This is amazing. To think that something like this could be made. At the very least, 5 years ago, there was nothing here, just a wide open space. I heard they're going to build a large-scale renewable energy research facility. The cell phone in my pocket vibrated to tell me I had received a text. Oh, it's from Anchan. To Aoi, did you arrive here already? Sorry, I couldn't come to meet you. My name is written using a Chinese character read as Aoi. It's a difficult character and is often mistaken for Midori. Incidentally, whether it is Aoi or Midori, it is often mistaken for a girl's name, which causes a few problems. I'll quickly write a reply. I hardly ever use text, so I find the key touch awkward to use. I got here a little too early, so I'm just going for a stroll. Windmills are amazing. Okay, send. The reply came in quickly. They're great, aren't they? It's the new famous spot in Kazakata. If you have any problems, contact me at any time. Anchan. Thank you, Anchan. As I sent the text, I sat down on the grass. This place is on the hillside, so from there I was able to gaze at the lake and the town that stretches across the opposite bank. The rapid development of the town of Kazagata meant that the remnants of the old buildings from the Showa era are intermingled with the modern architecture. The same view expresses both the past and the future at the same time. Something white flitted across my field of vision. For a moment, it looked like one of the windmill blades had come flying off, but there's no way that could happen. Is it a paper airplane? I got up and headed down the slope to look for it. The paper airplane, gliding gently, eventually lost its momentum and descended. Gotcha! I ran ahead of it and did a small jump and caught it in midair. Where does this thing come flying from? Judging by direction, it had come from the top of the hill. At a time and place like this, could there be someone here besides me? I took the paper airplane with me as I climbed up the slope. Just as I was able to see to the top, a sudden gust of strong wind blew the paper airplane out of my hand. Ah! Hey, wait! I chased after the paper airplane and ran up the slope. Then, just as I finally caught it, there was someone on top of the hill. It was a girl standing in a wheelchair. Looking fleetingly into the distant sky, a sudden breeze blew her hair, and she combed it back with her fingers. Against the background of the blue sky and windmills that spread across my view, the girl's black hair and white blouse looked incredible. It was as if I was looking at a completed work of art. The girl noticed me. At first I thought I should make an excuse for why I was there. It was like I had stepped into her world without permission, and I started to feel guilty. She's not saying anything. Some guy had just suddenly appeared, so perhaps she's being cautious. To show her the reason why I had come here, I held out the paper airplane. Did you throw this? The moment she saw it, her facial expression stiffened. She looks like she's welling up. Suddenly, tears appeared in those delicate eyes. Huh? What? The tears that had welled up in the corners of her eyes came running straight down. As I watched, great big tears came rolling down her cheeks. Huh? Hey! Without thinking, I walked up beside her. What's wrong? Do you hurt anywhere? As she shook her head, she touched the hand that I had unconsciously held out as if she were clinging to it. Her hand was small and trembling. Squeeze. She gently squeezed my hand. It's okay now. I didn't even know what the situation was. However, as I answered, I squeezed her hand back. Peck, 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 peck. Ow, ouch! Before I knew it, there was something like a chicken at my feet, and all of a sudden it started pecking me. Peck, peck, peck. Ow, that hurts. So, what is this thing? Hat, as it was called, calmed down at her command. Is it a duck? With a yellow beak and white feathers, it was a duck that looked like a chicken. For some reason, it was wearing a hat. Ah, so this is how surprising it is to be suddenly attacked by an animal. However, thanks to that, it looked like she had stopped crying. Is a towel okay? I don't carry a handkerchief around with me. As I said that, without waiting for her to reply, I took a hand towel out of my bag. Of course, it had been washed, so it was clean. Why were you crying? If it hurt somewhere. As she answered, she pointed to one of the wheels of her wheelchair. It had lost its air and had collapsed. Oh, you got a flat tire. That's a terrible thing to happen. Just a mere flat tire, for her, is like having her legs taken away. Don't you have a cell phone? She answered, dismayed. I gotta tell you, I really, really love that music. But wow, it's loud. SOS? Oh, this? I opened up the paper airplane that I still had in my hand. I'm in trouble. Someone help me. I'm on Windmill Hill. So when somebody arrived carrying the paper airplane, she felt relieved and started to cry. Now she was fine, but until just now, she was shaking. That must be how scared she was. Hold on a moment. The bag at my feet rustled as I rummaged around inside it. When she saw the tools that I had taken out, she seemed confused. Would it be okay for me to get out? Would it be okay for you to get out for a moment?
どうして？
I'm gonna fix it. You can't go anywhere if you have a flat tire, can you?
そうだけど、手貸してもらってもいいかしら。
Of course. Getting out of the wheelchair is not easy for her. What should I do? From the methods I'd seen on TV, the care workers do it by embracing them from the front. We both looked as though we'd imagined that situation and froze.
やっぱり自分で。
Excuse me a moment. As I put my arms around her sides to her back, I suddenly lifted her up. Whoa, she's so light. Because she was much lighter than I had expected, there was a bit too much momentum. Before she could grasp the situation, I put her down on the soft grass. I'll have it done soon, so hold on a moment. They're made in the same way as bicycle tires. I immediately started on the repairs. She's behind me, so I can't see her expression, but I had a feeling I was being stared at with contempt. As I was quietly working, the duck was waddling around me and pecking at the soil. Is this duck your pet?
違う。ただの同居人。
Housemates?
散歩しようと思ったら勝手についてきちゃったのよ。ハト、あんまり遠くへ行っちゃダメよ。置いてっちゃうんだから。わあ。
Do ducks recognize their own names? When he's called, he responds by turning around. Hey, he's pretty smart.
そうなのよ。だから困るの。いたずらばっかりして。
As I looked at the duck, I saw her legs laid out in the grass in my field of vision. So, she can't move them. There are a number of reasons why people need to use a wheelchair, but it looked like she had a disability in her legs. When I picked her up just now, her body stiffened up with surprise, but there was no strength at all in her legs. The duck returned from his little excursion. While walking around her, he would occasionally try to jump onto her lap.
邪魔。
She said as she made him get down again. As I watched this exchange from the corner of my eye, I fixed the flat tire.
男の子ってすごいのね。そんな道具いつも持ち歩いてるんだ。
That's not really the case, though. I sometimes carry them with me.
私、草の上に座るのなんて久しぶり。柔らかくて気持ちいい。
As she said that, she made a little sound as she stretched.
いいところよね。ここ。
Yeah, it is.
部屋の窓から見えるのよ。一度来てみたかったの。
The wind blows through here. 5 years ago, there was no windmills, though.
5年前？
I've just come back to this town.
そうなんだ。
She directed her gaze at something far away.
じゃああなたは故郷に帰ってきたんだ。
Yeah. She suddenly looked down and seemed lonely and strangely sad. There was an awkward silence as I continued working.
What?
The duck twisted its neck to look up at the sky.
どうしたの？ハット。
She was tempted to look up too.
何かしらあれ。
What's that?
何か飛んでる。
There was something floating in the air. It was crossing the lake and gradually getting closer. At first, I thought it was a paper airplane that she had thrown coming back to us, but it wasn't. It crossed the lake and eventually reached the air above the small hill where we were. An airplane? It's not paper, it's a real plane. But what is this? Its silhouette is much thinner than any plane I know, and the wings are really big.
グライダーだ。間 違いない。あれ、グライダーよ。
A glider? I repeated the name as if to confirm it, and then looked up to the sky once more. With its big white wings and wide silhouette, it reminded me somewhat of a seagull.
ほら見て、旋回してる。綺麗ね。
The glider is continuing to turn leisurely above our heads. It's flying ever so slowly.
当然よ、水力がないんだもの。
As it proceeded slowly across the blue sky, it seemed to be floating rather than flying.
あんな風に飛ぶんだ。
It looks like it would feel nice.
降りてきた。
The turning glider looks as if it had given up on rising and came down towards the top of our hill. I mean, it's not like it was coming down to land. It was just reducing its altitude. Why don't we try waving? They might notice us. She earnestly stretched out her hand and waved towards the white aircraft floating in the sky.
わが。
I don't know if the pilot noticed us or not. However, the wings reflected a gleaming light, and it really did look as if it was answering us, calling out to us. Then the glider turned its back to us and flew away, back to the other side of the lake where it had come from.
ちょっと。
She mumbled sadly as she lowered her hand. Extend the little wings which fly in the sky highly. The cicadas. I fixed the flat tire and went with her into the town. This is the residential area on the opposite bank of the lake to the Windmill Hill, where we were just now.
ここでいいわ。
I'll take you back to your home.
うん、いい。
It seemed like she was going to say, but before she stopped speaking. For a girl with a walking disability, just because she was shown a little kindness, she can't bring some guy she hardly knows back to her house.
ありがとう。おかげで助かったわ。
Well, don't mention it. If your tire ever goes flat again, call me anytime. I only said it as a joke, but she blushed and looked down nervously.
わ。あのね、ありがとう。
If you're thanking me, you already did that just now.
ちょっとだけ楽しかった。友達と遊ぶみたいで。
Yeah, me too. And I saw something unusual too. The glider that we had just seen was now flying in the air above the hill where we just were now.
私も本物を見たの初めて。素敵な思い出ができちゃった。
She murmured quietly and giggled. Coupled with her cute and dainty appearance was her lovely smile.
それじゃあもう行くわね。
Okay, take care.
ええ。
The wheels squeaked as she pushed the wheelchair along with her hands down an empty street. Behind her, the duck wearing the hat waddled along with her. Hey! She stopped her hands and turned to face me. See you again. She looked troubled and embarrassed, then left without saying anything. She sure was cute. Where is she from? Her appearance was quite graceful, as if she were the daughter of a rich family. A little lady with a duck? It was an odd combination, but they seemed strangely familiar with each other. Okay, I better go. Now, I'm going to the dormitory called Flying Fish Manor. Due to certain circumstances, that place will be my new home. While walking along the gently sloping street, I look up at the clouds moving above. Floating so freely like that, they reminded me of the glider. That distinctive silhouette had left a mysterious impression on me. I finally found it. This place. Is this it? Flying Fish Manor. There's such a big difference between its appearance and its name. This is like giving a tough-looking Japanese tosa a name like Lily. At least call it Maison du Flying Fish or something. Whew, that's why, even though I looked everywhere, I still couldn't find it. Because I thought, it's not this place. I completely ruled it out and then walked around and around this area. Even now, I still can't believe it, so I'll check the sign one more time. Flying Fish Manor. There's no doubt about it. Even so, I'm still not entirely convinced. I mean, I know a lot about this place. It's an old European-style building on the shore of the lake, and because its appearance is a little spooky, when we were kids, we called this building Witch's Manor. As a test of courage, we would often sneak into the yard. We just thought it was a rich person's residence, but it's a dormitory. A Kaifu Private Academy Students Dormitory. And I just can't stand here in shock. Okay. I took a deep breath and stood up straight. May I come in?
あら？お客さん？
Suddenly, a girl in her underwear appeared before me, and the expression that I had tried so hard to straighten out crumbled instantly.
どちら様ですか？
Why? She's the one who should be worried about having been seen, and why am I the only one feeling under pressure?
訪問販売はお断りしてます。どうしたの、かなちゃん？なんかお客さんみたい。お客さん？男の人？
From inside, the other girl, this one was wearing clothes, showed her face, but when she saw me, she let out a hysterical scream. At the same time, the glasses she was wearing looked like they were about to slip off.
かなちゃん、ふくふく。どうしたの？
Another girl appeared.
あ、ゆかさん。知らない男の子がかなちゃんの裸を。なんですって？
Huh? What? Huh? No, that's not it. Just like a god of salvation, my cell phone rang. The word "mom" was shown on the display. Excuse me a minute. I quickly pressed the buttons to answer the call while swiftly escaping outside. Mom!
そろそろ飛び噂について落ち着いてる頃だと思って。どんな感じ？
Well, the place is full of girls. And I saw one in her underwear.
当たり前じゃない。だってそこ。
Yeah? I had checked the sign over and over, but then I noticed some small writing in the corner. Girls' dormitory. What? This is a girls' dormitory?
あら、言ってなかったかしら？
Did you do this on purpose? What is this? What kind of mother are you? From now on, I'm going to be this place's dorm mother, aren't I?
大丈夫よ。オーナーさんも寮生の方たちも了解してくれてるから。
Just now, they were screaming at the top of their lungs.
あら、間違えて更室入っちゃった？
That damn mother of mine. She's enjoying this situation. The front door opened slightly, and the girls from just now were peeking through.
どう、さなちゃん。まだいます。
When I called out to them, like a surprised turtle, they pulled their faces back inside and shut the door. What should I do about this? Well, this is the situation.
ほうほう。じゃああなたが新しい寮母さんなんだ。
While I was explaining the situation, the boarding students, apart from the girl in the underwear, who was putting on some clothes, surrounded me, but kept their distance and watched at me. This is no good, is it? A boy being the dorm mother of a girl's dormitory.
いいんじゃないの?
From behind the underwear girl, she was wearing clothes now, but they were pretty gaudy. Some were some girls who looked like they were hiding, but they were nodding and agreeing.
誰か来てくれないともっと困るから。そうなのよね。でももっと年配の人だとばかり思ってて。はい。
Incidentally, there is now one more person than before. She was kind of timid and looked to be the same age, or maybe a year younger than me. What is it?
Aoi kunって言ったっけ? 年はいくつ?
I'm still a student. From tomorrow, I'll be going to Heifu Academy. I'm in the 2nd grade.
へえ。じゃあ年下なんだ。似合う。
Hehe, she said. What do you mean, hehe? The person who came to speak to all of you is my mother, and, well, she kind of half tricked me into accepting this job as dorm mother. My mom has a job connected to real estate, and her company manages this property.
ですって。どうします、ゆかさん。チェンジします？そういう事情なら。
The person who seemed the oldest said so, and the other people reluctantly nodded in agreement. This is just until the owner caretaker comes back, or we find someone else. I apologize for the inconvenience, but for the time being, let's all try to get along. Once the conversation was over, naturally everyone left and went back to their rooms.
いやー、なんかごめんね。みんなおぼこい娘さんたちのもんで、若い男を前にして舞い上がっちゃってんのよ。私はしぐれかな子。なんかあったら私に言ってちょうだい。管理人さんの部屋は1階の廊下の突き当たりよ。
Thank you very much. Well, was that all of the boarding students? There's the underwear girl, and Kanako, who is with me now. Yuka, the tall girl with the long hair, and Sana, the girl with the glasses. The timid one who came from the back is Ryoko. That's 4 people altogether.
もう一人いるんだけど、いわゆる引きこもりというやつで。そのうち出てくるんじゃないかな。
Oh. In other words, there are 5 boarders in total. This building is pretty big, but there are only 5 people living here. Come to think of it, Mom did say that there are quite a few empty rooms now. It's old and a little far from the school, so maybe it's not that popular.
汗かいちゃったから、もう一回お風呂入ってこよっと。
Anyway, the conversation ended well, so I'll call my mother to let her know. So, in the end, we somehow worked things out.
さあ、それはよかったわ。言っておくけど、寮の子に手出しちゃダメよ。
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Mom?
まあ、問題にならない程度ならいいけど。あ、それから、前に言ったと思うけど、一人足の不自由な子がいるから。
Flap, flap, flap. Suddenly, the sound of flapping wings came from down the hallway. Then a shrill voice sounded out.
待ちなさい、ハト！ぐわー！
Huh? Something big and white came flying down the hallway and from behind at a breakneck speed. Was the girl in the wheelchair?
待て！このバカアヒル！私のパンツ返しなさい！わっわっわっ！
The big white thing, which somehow seemed like a duck, was flapping its wings and flew behind me. The girl in the wheelchair avoided all the obstacles in her path, in other words me, and chased down the duck like a drift racer. I was so overwhelmed by the speed that I couldn't say anything.
捕まえたわよ、ハト。
The girl in the wheelchair caught the duck at my feet and snatched away a small white cloth, possibly panties, from his beak.
まったくあんたはいたずらばっかりして、今度やったら北京ダックにしてやるんだから。
The girl put the duck on her knee and lectured him. I remembered seeing that before. However, it's somehow a little different to the image she had during the day. In the daytime, she seemed more dainty and delicate. However, her appearance was the same. It's not often you see such a pretty girl. It looks like your tire is in good condition.
Huh?
She finally realized that there was a guy standing there.
もしもし葵聞いてるの
Yeah, what was it?
足が不自由な子がいるから面倒見てあげてねって話よ
Sure, I got it. Okay, talk to you soon, Mom. I replied as I ended the call.
どうしてあなたがここに
She got as far as saying that, but then realized that she had the small cloth in her hand and tried to hide it by stuffing it under her backside.
なんでここにいるの新しい寮母さんだよ、小鳥ちゃん。
Kaneko, who was supposed to be having a bath, poked her head out.
何よそれ、聞いてないんですけど。いようにも小鳥ちゃん、めったに部屋から出てこないんだもん。新しい寮母って男の子じゃない。
Hey, look! Is what it felt like she was saying as she relentlessly pointed at me.
そのやりとりはうちらはるか昔に通過したから。
The girl, known as Kotori, glared at Kaneko like she was interfering. I'm the new dorm mother, Aoi Minase.
ハバネ小鳥です。
Kotori seemed to meet my introduction with reluctance.
この子はハト。ってもう知ってるわよね。
He turned to face me and flapped his wings. He's a clever duck.
本当にあなたが新しい寮母さんなの？
Yes, that's right. So you are against it? If she says she doesn't like the fact that the dorm mother of a all-girls dormitory is a guy, or the fact that we're the same age, there's nothing I can do about it. Katori closes her eyes and quietly takes a deep breath, as if trying to focus her mind. Katori?
昼間のことは忘れて。
During the day? Which part?
なるべく全部だけど。そうね。強いて言うなら。
She stopped talking and stared at Kaneko, who was standing behind listening. Kaneko looked as if she was saying, okay, okay, and she appeared down the hallway.
この私がついうっかりポロッと泣いちゃったりしたことよ。
Oh. That incident was quite startling, and I remember it well. To see a girl's tears from so close like that is something I don't experience very often. I don't know what she thinks about it, but those tears were very beautiful.
忘れた？
Huh? No, not yet.
忘れろ、今すぐ。
Don't be silly. When you say like that, it just makes it even more strongly engraved into my memory.
あのね、新入りのあなたは知らないだろうけど、私これでも。
Kotori straightened her back, composed her expression, and smiled. And swish, with a natural gesture, she lifted her hair up.
クールビューティーで通ってるの。
Oh, what's a lewd?
ビューティーよ。ちょっと言い間違えただけ。もう
Oh, I've heard that word before.
一回言うから、もう一回やらせて。
She said that and then straightened her back and made a composed smile again. Okay, that's enough. I get it all right.
もう意地悪、揚げ足取り、人でなし。
Katori used just about every insult there is and then turned her wheelchair around. Then she hurriedly raced back down the hallway and back into her room. Along the way, Hat, who had been thrown off, chased after her and entered the room through a small door, maybe a special door for ducks, built into the bottom of the main door. I looked on in disbelief. I don't need to say this, but dainty and delicate image that she had in the daytime had completely crumbled away. A delicate bud was beginning to sprout, and we shared a fleeting love. But... cool allude, right? When I remember lifting her hair and being so full of confidence, I feel like I could burst out laughing. She's so funny. From the beginning, everything's been so messed up. From tomorrow, it looks like things will start getting interesting. I really felt that that prediction would come true. Extend the little wings which fly in the sky highly. My first job as dorm mother. That is to make breakfast for the boarders.
Aoi-kun, 料理上手だね。おかわ
Sure, a big bowl, right?
り。わかってるね。
I'm pretty confident in my cooking. Until recently, I was living with my father, who was ordered to transfer to the country, and every day I helped with the housework. I was in charge of preparing the meals, and it's not like I hated cooking or anything. That's one of the reasons why I accepted the job as the dorm mother. So, the others don't need breakfast, huh? Since just now, no one has come into the dining hall. Sometimes there would be someone walking through the hallway in front, but they seem to be sneaking around. Kaneko looked down towards the hallway just as the oldest boarder Yuka was peeking in before swiftly dashing off.
もう、みんなオブだからね。男の子に免疫がないのよ。
But Kaifu is a co-ed school, right?
いくら学校で同じでも、寝起きの緩み切ったすっぴんが見られちゃうわけじゃないからね。
I see. It seems that a guy being in the dorm mother of a girl's dormitory will have its problems after all. There's a reason why I accepted the job as dorm mother at Flying Fish Manor. Not long ago, the owner janitor collapsed. It sounded like she was pretty old, and as well as straining her back, she caught a summer cold, which became aggravated. The owner soon began looking for a replacement, but it was hard to find one. Then she sought help from the real estate company where my mother works. This is one of the properties that my mom manages and is an old acquaintance of the owner from decades ago. She nominated me for this job just as I was planning to come back here. On the documents, my mom is the one responsible for the place, but she got me to carry out the practical duties, in other words, the work of the dorm mother. Then, that became the condition for me coming back into this town. As always, she's very crafty, but I wasn't really against the idea, so I accepted. If I'd known it was a girls' dormitory, of course I would have refused. This place is old, a little far from the school, but the rent is cheap. Apart from the food and admin expenses, it costs next to nothing. That's why it would be a big problem for me if I couldn't stay here, and if, in the worst case scenario, the boarders won't be able to go to school. So for now, it seems like everyone has accepted a guy as the dorm mother.
ごちそうさー。美味しかった。
Kaneko stacked up the dishes on the counter and licked her lips in satisfaction.
ま、みんなそのうち慣れるって。じゃ、行ってきまーす。
She had eaten it all. Even a single grain of rice was left. To have people enjoying my cooking feels pretty good. I feel deeply relieved. I'm happy that things are going well. Ah, jeez, I better get ready for school. In the entrance of the dormitory, there was a kotori. She was dressed in her uniform and looked like she was about to go to school. Morning, kotori.
おはよう。
Are you going to school? Shall we go together?
なんでそうなるの？
Why? Well?
私の足のことを心配してるなら余計なお世話よ。ふんと。
She put it bluntly as she quickly went out the front door. I don't have any friends at school, so I was just asking. It looked like we'd had a strange misunderstanding. Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is Apostrophe. You've been watching If My Heart Had Wings on PC. Again, it's available on Nintendo Switch, and I believe it's available on the PlayStation 4. Don't quote me, but I think it is available there as well. So this is a visual novel, as you can probably tell. So, you know, I'm a big fan of visual novels. At least now I am, now that I played it, a couple of really good ones. And I think this one has a lot of promise. You know, the characters so far seem very enough between them. They are archetypes. You know, I don't know how well you can get away with archetypes being written. I mean, they're always going to be written. So I don't necessarily hold it against it. I mean, as long as the dialogue is good and the plot is good, then, you know, it doesn't really matter to me if there's some cliche elements. I will say that the it seems like the translation is not too hot. Some of the sentences just don't sound right, you know, as you could tell. I'm trying to read them as carefully as I can, but I'm having a hard time understanding the meaning with the way that it's written. So I'm just going to read it to you as it is. Hopefully we can figure out what the general sense of the paragraph or story is. And if that's the case, I think that's good enough. This game is very popular, so I'm sure a lot of people have already played it, but if you haven't, then let's go through it together. Once again, this is Apostrophe. You're watching If My Heart Had Wings on PC. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.